We're on the product page for version 6.2.2026. On the right side, you see a list of some of the features that we've added to this version. First, you're going to see a AI assist upon startup, which is going to monitor your system to make sure everything's good to go for your track meet. We have some Windows updates and some compatibility additions. We have a set playback feature so that bookmarking will yield the race review to start at that point. A wireless start system status alert appears when your trigger system somehow inadvertently becomes disconnected. You're going to want to know that. It's going to alert you on the screen. We have an on-the-fly add athlete option, which is great if you find somebody in lane 1 and the heat sheets don't show it. You can simply preserve that time as an unknown athlete or add an ID and the athlete will populate into that area. We have an export results feature for both the video timing and the line scan timing images that show the athletes on the screen with a ranked list of performances of all those that are in that heat. We have a OneDrive disconnect, which is great because Microsoft likes to monopolize and save to the cloud. We want to disable. We have easier switching of cameras from the list. We have a low hard drive disk space warning, so you don't have a problem during a recording that you're unaware that you're running out of space. And then we have a couple bug fixes. So we'll go through these and call out a few of these in specific detail and show you some examples. Let's go ahead and open up the software. I have my USB key plugged in. We won't get an error message. It'll open up. And I happen to be in line scan mode right now, upper left at 5,000 frames. But what you're going to see here is the AI Startup Assist automatically alerting you to either a green or red status for camera connection, camera settings, exposure and frame rate, wireless trigger, and hard drive space. Camera connection, we're obviously connected right now. It appeared as a USB connection, so it's boom, it's right there. We're in line scan mode, like I mentioned. Everything's good with your camera. If you did not have a green button, it could be because of a bad cable, because you know that it's plugged in, or something else, and it'll allow you to check on things. If you have an issue, for example, right here, it'll tell you where to look. We don't have a wireless trigger connected, and it's telling me that, and it gives me some clues as to how to solve that. The camera settings are set, and basically it's telling me that we're at least 100 frames per second, which is considered FAT. You might like to time it 1,000, but at least you're FAT. And if your exposure settings and your frame rate were off, it would alert you and then give you some places to go to address that. And then our hard drive space is adequate for a track meet. And so if you're opening this software and you're not timing a meet, you can just progress, either cancel or click out. If you're setting up for a track meet, this is invaluable to help give you the confidence that your system is ready to go. So we've alerted ourselves to these things. And oh, by the way, up here, there's no trigger detection noticed here. So upon startup, you're going to get that notice. We see here in red also. But if at any time during the track meet, your trigger system becomes disconnected, that yellow wording up here, trigger not connected, will appear. So that's another safety piece. Let's go ahead and accept that and then move on into some of the other features. First, let's take care of the one issue that the Startup Assist alerted us to, and that was that we did not have a trigger connected. So within the Race Trigger tab, I've actually plugged it in, so I know that that's good. I have to select, in this case, I'm using the Series 900, and it gives me a confirmation I am now connected. So let's look at some of these features. The bookmarking feature is great. I don't have a race going on here, but let's just do a recording. And let's pretend the first finisher is crossing. I'm going to press the space bar, the bookmark, another bookmark, a couple more bookmarks. I'm going to stop the recording for the race. And immediately you see down here at the bottom, the video is queued up at the first bookmark. Here's a few examples of what that looks like. Here we have a 4x2 finisher. A bookmark is here. There's a couple other finishers back here, but the video is going to queue up right at this point where we applied the bookmark with the space bar as the athlete was finishing, and then we just have a few clicks to the finish. We've got another example here, and her bookmark is there. It's queued up, 4x4 finish. her bookmark cues her up right next to the finish line. So that's just the way it looks like in practice. It's just a great efficiency. Let's look at the feature that allows us to add an athlete on the fly. Here's an example of a female hurdle race. We're not using hip numbers, as you can see, but we do have an ID camera that we're using to determine the lanes of each athlete. In this example, we've read lanes 2 through 6, and we come to an athlete here in lane 7 that is not in the heat sheets. So we can add it a couple of different ways. We can read the race per usual. Let's say I don't even notice she's not in the heat sheets. I can just enter lane 7, and it's going to prompt me that it's not recognized, and do I want to accept it? And I say yes, and it adds her time as an unknown athlete, because in this case we don't know who she is yet. Now let's right click the time, let's delete that entry, and let's say we do know who she is. Maybe we've taken notes and we've added an athlete and we want to do so with the known ID number. So we're going to go down here and add lane and athlete, and we know her to be ID number 86. We're going to put her in lane 7, and we're now just going to read per usual. Click on the torso, type 7, and now we've assigned a time to the new athlete, Brittany. This does require, when you do addition with an athlete ID, to load a PPL, which is a common file automatically generated when you generate the EVT file within your meet management software. So you can simply add by being unaware and add the athlete because the system alerted you that that's not a recognized person in a lane, and you can add that person as an unknown athlete, or with a known ID you can add a specific person. Now keep in mind, upon import of that race file into your meet management software, you might get an error message because there's nobody in that specific lane. However, you should be able to progress through that, accept that, and you won't have a conflict because there's nobody already in that lane. That lane has been added. So that's a great feature there. Let's take a look at generating proof of performance images with both line scan and video mode. To do that, we're simply going to place the people that you're trying to capture. If you can't get them all on the same image, you would put, that runner actually fell there. Let's print that picture. Let's print this by just going to the export results image down below, clicking it. It's going to confirm, and it's also going to confirm its location. It's the same location where your saved race files are going. We're going to click OK, and then we'll just open that and see what that looks like. Here it is. And we have a graduated time scale associated with the reads of each athlete here in this blue timeline. And that's important because that's part of a requirement for proof of performance images in line scan mode. And then we have a rank performance here of the athletes, and we see that we have 86 here. Otherwise, everybody else would have IDs if you used a EVT or PPL with IDs, but in this case we simply added that one. But it has all the relevant information, the lanes in order of first through last, and the name, and you can print that off for proof of performance, provide mementos, sell images. It's just a great way to preserve, for whatever reason, the finish line in print form, in a digital format. When timing in video mode, it works the same way. We're going to bring the person or the image that we want to have created to the screen, export results, click OK. There she is, the winner, with the timestamp and the subsequent rank finishers of that section. Be sure though, notice this line is precisely lined up in the field of view, so it did not bring over your added finish line. It created its own finish line as a proof of performance to that perpendicular of the camera, so it's precisely in the middle. If you're going to use this feature, as always, you want to make sure you're specifically lined up vertically on the finish line. Okay, so those are the highlights for software version 6.2.2026. We are confident that you'll appreciate the added features that help with efficiency and to help your events go smoothly. So we thank you for watching.